Yeah, the next one we want to look at is arithmetic expression or arithmetic expression. I'm not sure how we're supposed to pronounce it, but anyway, we want to be considering an arithmetic expression of the form a hashtag b is equal to c. Check whether it is possible to replace the hashtag with one of the four signs, plus, minus, multiplication, or division, to obtain a correct expression. So basically one that makes a, let's say, plus b equal to c, or maybe a minus b is equal to c. For one of those operations, perform that operation on a and b, and we should get c. Okay, well, I mean, I guess we could look at this one in the most literal possible way. We could just say something like return a plus b is equal to c, or a minus b is equal to c, or a times b is equal to c, or a divided by b is equal to c. Let's try running that, and yeah, that does it. Okay, so let's attempt the hiddens, and yeah, it passes those two. Okay, we're good, so we can move on from here. Hey, get out of the way. Okay, so that's well, that's pretty straightforward. I mean, not a huge challenge on that one, but there's a way we can make it a little more interesting. So here, let's make some space here. We'll say that's arithmetic expression 1. And we want to do something a little bit different here. So I want to show you, I guess against my better judgment, I'm going to show you a very dangerous tool. Okay, so this is something that I've been cautioned against using. I mean, there have been some discussions about this. You sometimes see it in like in the code golfing, like in the challenge section here. It's something called eval. Okay, so like I could say, let's say return 2 plus 5. Okay, just the string 2 plus 5. Let's return that, and yeah, it's just 2 plus 5. But if I were to return eval of 2 plus 5, eval stands for evaluate, then what's that going to return? It's returning 7. You might be looking at it and thinking, whoa, really? It can do that? And yeah, really, as it turns out. So we could put in a minus there, same thing, 2 minus 5, negative 3. So it's kind of like taking a string and actually evaluating that as an expression. There's way more advanced stuff we can do with that, but for now, we're going to be using it for the math here. I mean, it's basically what we would want, I guess, for something like this if we wanted to make it a little less brute forcey, you know, a little less like type in all the answers. So what we could do is something like this. Okay, we'll say const operations is assign the value of this array with a plus, a minus, a multiplication, and a division. Okay, so those are our operations. And what we want to say is something like operations dot for each, and we'll say x. X is going to represent the operation here. X is going to get mapped to eval of a plus x plus b. Okay, so and okay, I said plus there. What I really mean is a concatenated with x concatenated with b. So we'll take a, whatever the value is, like 2, we'll concatenate it with the plus, let's say, and then concatenate that with the 3. So we should get 2 plus 3. And in fact, you know what? Let's just say console.log for this. So we'll do the eval there. And in fact, here, we'll put both of these things in. We'll put the x and the eval of a, x, and b. Yeah, let's just do that for now. So it's just going to do a console log. So for plus, here, let's get all this on screen. 2 plus 5, 2 plus 3, 5. 2 minus 3, negative 1. 2 times 3, it's 6. And 2 divided by 3, well, it's 2/3, but we'll express it as a floating point, 0.66666. Okay, so that looks like it's working. It's evaluating all these things. It's evaluating them the way we want to. So we're console logging them. Really what we want to be doing is we want to check something here. So we'll say, maybe I shouldn't have done a for each here. let's do this differently. The reason I want to put this in just like sort of a regular for loop is because I want to return something. I want to do a return, and inside the for each, let me go back a sec. Inside the for each, this is a function, right? So like if I were to just say, you know, if eval this is equal to c, then return true, well, it's going to return true as this function, like this function inside the for each. I want this function to be the one returning true. So I don't want it to be within the scope of a nested function. I want it to just be one of these. So we'll say for const, I'll call it op of operations. What are we going to do with op? We'll say if eval of a concatenated with x, concatenated with op, concatenated with b. If this is c, well then we're going to return true. And if we don't end up returning true, if we make it through there without returning anything, then we'll return false. Let's try that. Hey, it works. And does it work for all the hiddens as well? Yeah, it looks like it does. Okay, cool. So that's great. That's what we're looking for, right? Yeah, but we can make it a little more efficient than that. We could do a couple things. So first of all, this, I guess technically this might increase the execution time, but just in terms of how this works, I kind of prefer doing it like this. Okay, so basically we've got a single string. It contains all the characters here, and we're just going to split it up. We could do a dot split on this, but I'm just going to do a spread operator. We'll put it inside the array brackets, and is it still going to work? Yeah, it's still going to work. I mean, technically, like, could we just do this? Like, we could even just have it as a string, and I mean, this is a for of loop. It should still work the same way, I think, right? It's kind of keeping us in suspense, but yeah, there we go. Okay, so that still works. In fact, it's not really an option I considered. So let's archive that, and we'll work with something a little bit different for this next one. So let's put a 2 on that. And yeah, I do sort of want this to be an array. And the reason I want it to be an array is because there's another way we could handle this. We could say return, because basically what we're trying to say is, okay, hold on a sec. What we're trying to say is within this array, is there at least one element that will make this thing true? Right? That's basically it. Is there at least one element that will make this true? Is there some element that will make this thing true? So we've got a built-in for that. We can just say return operations.sum, and yeah, we'll be consistent, use op here. And basically we want to check, is there some one of these things that's going to make this true? And if we run that, we don't need all the rest of the stuff now. So that's pretty nice. Now, of course, it does need to be an array for that to work, but keep in mind, we don't need really to give it this name operations. We're only using that once now, so we'll just paste that in right there. And now, does that work? Yeah, it does. Okay, so that's pretty not bad. I think I like it. So, I think that's an ES6 thing. I guess don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. Anyway, we've got 3 different ways of doing this. Are they all passing the hidden tests? Let's find out. Yeah, they're all passing the hidden test. Okay, cool. All right, well, nice job. I think that's probably all we need to save for this one. I'm sure there are other ways we could do it, but that's probably enough variety. We learned something new. Yeah, do keep in mind eval, apparently it can be quite dangerous. It can really like produce some unexpected results. So it's not encouraged to do this. I would say if this was actually like in production, if this was an actual web app or something like that, I'd probably just suggest doing it this way. I mean, I think this is probably more efficient than either of the others as well, because, you know, we're not doing, well, okay, we're not doing a loop, but it's because we're just doing the 4 things here. We're also not doing like a, you know, the spread operator thing. We're not doing a dot sum. Like there's a lot of, we're not holding this in memory, you know, we're just using the variables. I don't think there's going to be much of a difference in terms of execution time. I think it'd be marginal, if anything. But I do think it's probably worth it to avoid this eval thing. It's kind of cool. I appreciate that it exists, but we probably don't want to rely on it too much. So I think that's all we have to say about that one. Nice job. Let's get the heck out of here. And